Hello, it's your girl United Random. My camera is dying. I just wanted to pop on here and talk to you guys for a short little moment. I was in my masculine era because I didn't have a masculine around. And so I had to perform in that area, right? And now I am in my feminine era because I finally found that balance. I don't have to overperform. I am able to be this strong, confident woman, and I'm not masculine and I'm not super feminine, but I am me. And I'm happy to be where I am. And then again, I still have little jellyfish lights and cute little things all around my apartment. I have found my balance, like realistically, and I found my joy. This is the wall of me, okay? I'm a Leo, don't blame me. This is the wall of me and my happy moments and moments that just really made me feel like, wow. And I saw a picture of me the other day. It's this picture all the way up here, all the way up here. It's a picture with me and Stu. I was pregnant in that picture, and I was really kind of leaning on him emotionally. And I probably, that was the beginning of me really becoming who I am today. And I think, you know what? All of these smiling Alia faces on the wall of me, all of these smiling Alia faces stemmed from that moment. We've all come from that Alia. And that's beautiful.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
I'm not the best person. I'm not, I'm still healing. I'm still me. But like, wow. That's kind of beautiful. That's not kind of beautiful, baby. That is beautiful. But yeah, and I'm in my feminine moment, and I think I can still be strong without having to feel masculine now. I can still set limits without having to feel like, oh, I'm this, I don't know, this bitch who's always fussing, who's always trying to yell, treat me nicely, treat me nicely. That was me trying to access boundaries. I didn't know what the fuck boundaries were, if I can be honest with you. Let me just put my hand up here because I didn't know what the fuck boundaries were. Okay, in my head, boundaries was something, okay, so when I first started my healing journey and my internalization of what boundaries were, were me trying to speak up for myself. Like, hey, no, don't treat me like that. No, this hurts me. Why would you do this, right? It was me communicating, because before that, I didn't communicate shit. I didn't communicate shit. I would just hold it in, and have this big crying session where I'm just like crying and also maybe wanting to end my life. But you know what I mean? I would hold it in, and it would explode in these like tidal waves of pain. So the first thing I started to do when I was starting to heal myself was communicate. Okay, so I'm communicating. I'm like, hey. And I got pretty good at communicating. People weren't listening, but I got pretty good at communicating. And in my head, communication was me setting boundaries. It's not, babes. That is not setting boundaries. Communication is communication. Setting boundaries is something that you do within yourself, okay? Within yourself. If you have this boundary about how you want to be treated, it's not you communicate this boundary to someone and voila, you're setting your boundaries. No, that's communicating. You set your boundaries by walking away, no matter how hard it is. I really thought I was setting boundaries by communicating. And I thought, okay, like when I cut my mom out of my life, it was just a moment. It was really quick. I don't think I really thought too much. Like, it wasn't like, oh yeah, this is easy, let me walk away. But it was a moment, in the heat of the moment. You know how I say you hold it in, and then you explode. So it was like, for my mom, I never really communicated with my mom. So I hold it in, holding in all of that pain. And then one day it just exploded. And to my mom, it might seem like I exploded about something that was not even important. But it wasn't just that situation, as we all know. It was all of the situations before that, right? And then with my husband, I communicated. I thought, wow, I'm communicating. I'm doing such a good job at communicating, right? That didn't mean anything. At the end of the day, no matter how much I communicated, no matter how much I asked him or told him how I wanted to be treated, he was unable to treat me in the way that I wanted to be treated. Because even though I communicated, I didn't set any boundaries to actually influence, or not even influence, but actually say, this is how I wanted to be treated. And if you don't treat me like that, then you have consequences in a way. I just said, treat me like this, treat me like that. And the consequence was me complaining about you not treating me how the way I wanted to be treated. I wasn't respecting myself. And in that manner, I was turning myself into this masculine. Like, and I mean masculine, not to put masculine in a negative connotation, but like for me, I see masculine as in a way inherently aggressive. I put myself in a position where I was always aggressive, but I was a masculine feminine, where I was always aggressively trying to communicate how I wanted to be treated. And by me aggressively communicating how I wanted to be treated, I was then challenging his masculinity. And so a part of him, without even wanting to, or without even like consciously knowing, he started to fight me on that. He would push back from me asking to be treated a certain way. And then we get into more fights and more fights. And then I'm constantly in the, I need to be on my, like not even on my toes. I need to be aggressive. I need to speak what I want. These are my boundaries. I was like, these are my boundaries. These are my boundaries. These are my boundaries. These are my boundaries. And they weren't my boundaries, because if they were my boundaries, when these things were happening, I would have walked away. When these things were happening, I would have bye-bye. But I didn't, okay? And that's not his fault. Just like toddlers, okay? And I'm not saying he's a toddler, but I'm just saying humanity at its core. They're going to challenge things. So we can take it all the way back to the toddler and we say, no, don't do that. Toddler's still gonna try to mess around and do something. Like, oh yeah, let me play with the socket. No, don't do that. I mean, if they get electrocuted, then maybe they will learn, but we don't want them to get electrocuted, okay? But like at the end of the day, it was, my boundaries were being tested, and it was on me to instill my boundaries. Like with my mom and cutting my mom out of my life, that was so sudden. But with my husband, who's turning into my ex-husband, that was hard. Especially after I cut my family out of my life. It is hard. And in my head, there was a piece of me, even after my boundaries were demolished, even after I felt like I communicate, I was with someone who couldn't hear that communication. And I was ignoring the fact that he couldn't hear the communication, because he had shown me multiple times that he couldn't hear the communication, okay? Different people. And I, like, realistically, I picked that up from a while ago. Like, I'd always talk about this possible divorce, and I don't believe me talking about the possible divorce was me manifesting the divorce. It was just, I was always aware there were problems. I was always aware. But here we are. So my camera is dying, so I'm gonna go ahead and end this video right here. I hope if anyone saw this video, it gave you something that you needed to hear. Set your boundaries, keep it moving. Leave comments down below. Let me know, have you ever been through a divorce? Is there something I should be careful about? And I love you all. Thank you for being here. Much love and positive vibes. And I guess we can't be Jones Bones anymore, because that's my married name. So what my new last name gonna be, y'all? Because I think I can make my own new last name, and I'm thinking random. Might as well. Bye.